There, I'm Mike Clayson,
And I'm Walder Von Hune.
and we're here today to do another special video for our local EPIC program, which stands for Emergency Preparedness in the Community. And today we're going to be talking about emergency power and really what that means.
Right. Both of us have been through emergencies before. For me, my house burned down and we had to get out, and we had flashlights, basically, is all we had, and didn't have anything else. But for you went through things
Well, you
yourself.
too. You went through the Northridge earthquake. You went through the
Yeah,
Sylmar earthquake. You went through the
exactly.
Whittier earthquake. I went through all these earthquakes along with you, and I had fire across the street, raging fire across the street from my house. Lost power for over a week. Windstorms, lost power. So we both have had extensive experience living without electricity for extended amounts of time. We've also both had a lot of training, preparedness training.
Hmm.
And so what this represents today is my interpretation of all of that. In other words, we're neither one of us are experts, but this is just my interpretation, trying to cope with everything that we've experienced, everything I've experienced personally, and trying to translate that into preparedness for the next time we get hit with a situation with no electricity.
Right.
Does that make
It's
sense?
always better to be prepared and to know what you're doing when there's a real emergency and when it happens.
Right.
And Michael here has all kinds of stuff that we're going to talk about. So why don't you go ahead and start off by talking about some of the things we have here.
Sure. So being without power, it generates a response on basically different levels. So you need, first of all, if it's dark, you need to be able to see. So you need things like flashlights, lighting, and then you also want to communicate and get information, and that requires power for a radio, power for your cell phone, and then if you're lucky, you may have enough resources to power other things like heating machines of some sort, and also maybe CPAP machines, and then refrigeration, that
Right.
sort of thing. So it goes up, it climbs up and escalates. So at the lower level, you start off by just having a simple battery, which is right here. Right here, this is a little tiny battery, um, and you can charge one cell phone one time with this thing. And the advantage of it too is it has a little flashlight at the end, which is kind of cool. So you can use it for either a flashlight or to replenish the power in your cell phone. Uh, and then the next step is to go to a larger charging device like this that you can get 2 or 3 charges for your phone. It's got an integrated cord here that works just plugs right into your phone. And then in terms of lighting, so you can see where
Well,
you're going.
let me talk
Yeah,
about this for a
sure,
second.
sure.
The one thing people don't think about, like you think about flashlight or lanterns or anything that you can light up the house or walk around or something after an emergency. It's the middle of the night and you can't see, the electricity's off. But you don't think about your cell phone and how important that is to you. And that's why on a device like this is really vital to have something that you can then charge your and listen and get a hold of people if there's still service in the area.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And at first, your cell phone's not going to work that well. It's going to be the system's going to be overloaded.
Right.
The cell towers may have alternate backup power in the by way of some sort of a generator that's attached to them, but some don't, some do. Eventually, there'll be emergency sites that'll be set up for your phones, and the service will get better. But the first 24, 48, 72 hours, your phone's not going to be that useful, but it will become more useful as the situation continues. Hopefully, it won't, but it might. But you still need power for a radio. Hopefully, everyone has their own little transistor radio that they can listen to and replace the batteries for. Which brings me to the new point, which is talking about flashlights. I mean, they've got flashlights here, all different sizes. So you got long ones, you got fat ones, you got skinny ones, and you've got this one. I don't know what this one
And
is,
this
but
one's just
yeah,
right.
exactly. So there's been an evolution in flashlights. I mean, this is really old school. In fact, it's so old school that if and when the batteries ever run out of this thing, I'm just throwing it away because it uses 4 AA batteries, which is a lot of energy, and it has just this little rinky-dink light bulb at the top that doesn't put out very much light, and so it's going to go in the trash when it finally runs out of batteries or out of energy. But the weird part is, this thing, I've had this thing for years, and it won't run out of electricity. It just keeps on going. So as long as it's working, I guess I'll keep it. But it's not very bright, as you can see. It's just pretty pathetic. Anyway, so that's this one. The newer stuff all has really cool LED lights in it that use just a fraction of the amount of energy that this thing uses. So this has like 3 C-size batteries, and it'll last forever. I mean, and it's very bright. I'm not going to turn it on, but it's very bright. And there's another one that's a larger one, typical. Here's a smaller one, also LED, very small, very economical.
AAA batteries.
AAA, yeah. And which I don't know about you, Walter. Do you have a lot of batteries
Yeah,
hanging around?
I do. That's one thing that's also, I think, important to have is have an excess number of batteries in your home. And this is something that is there, which is a whole pack. Very simple. You put it in your house,
Right.
and you have all these different batteries. You have the D cell, you have the C cell, you have it all.
Right. What's nice about this is this case. I think I got it at Home Depot. It was like $15. It holds a lot of batteries, front and back, with batteries. And what really is cool is it has a battery charger that I use all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's impossible to tell a good battery from a bad battery without some sort of a tester. Not charger, tester, sorry, tester. And so that's the way you deal with all these different kinds of batteries is you just have a bunch of them hanging around. And alternatively, you can do like this. This is part of our emergency kit, and it's the lanterns, and then they have the batteries attached to the bottom here. So we're going to be good for those things at least. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say with lanterns, I have lanterns that right by the bedside, that if anything happens, lights go out, middle of the night, etc., I can just pick it up right there, turn it on. It has like 4 different settings, and I can see it's extremely bright. And so that's one thing that I learned is always have something by your bedside that you can turn on.
Right.
And that you can see. If you have a 2-story house in particular, and you're running around and you got to get out for whatever reason it is, it's really vital that you're able to see so you know what you're doing.
Right. I agree completely. Now, to go back to flashlights again, it's really inconvenient, annoying, and not very practical to have all different kinds of batteries, because I guarantee you whatever flashlight goes bad on you, that's the one you don't have the batteries for. So lately I've been buying flashlights that are rechargeable. So these have little recharge ports on the side of them. There's one there, there's one here, and you just plug them into a battery bank of some sort, one like this or some of the bigger ones we're going to talk about in a second, and you charge up the device, and then you don't worry about the batteries anymore, because the batteries are in here, they're here, you're not changing them out, and so you just charge up the device, and they all have the same USB-C plug on them, so you just only need one cord.
How long does the charge last?
That's the other thing too, is when you have a rechargeable battery in something like this, and it looks small, but it's actually quite bright. I mean,
yeah.
And this one is kind of cool because it has
UV.
a side light that you can use, and it also has a UV light. And I got this at Harbor Freight. You want to have fun, just go down there and browse through all their stuff like this. They've got a ton of this stuff.
And you can go to your bed and look for bed bugs.
Yeah, exactly. With this one. So they last. I don't know how long exactly this one lasts, but it lasts a long time. And it also has a magnet on the bottom. So if you were you wanted to stick it on something metal, it would just stick on there, which is pretty cool. So
talk about the radio.
Okay.
And about what you have there.
All right, so I will in a second.
Okay.
Because that's kind of a separate deal.
Okay.
But so this is I think between all of this here. So the battery case, the battery packs like this, having longer lasting rechargeable devices, you're going to be pretty good for lighting. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons you need most importantly you need
Yeah.
emergency
Well,
power.
the thing is, we're not saying you need one of everything here either.
Well, I'm saying the more the merrier. That's not very expensive. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying what I think is if you get this and you have this and you have this or this, it's not like you need to buy one of everything here.
Right.
Just enough to get you by, something to charge the cell phone here, this thing, 2, 3 lanterns or flashlights, a battery case.
Right. You're good. You're good. For your phone and for your lighting needs.
Right.
But if you need something more, like I need my CPAP machine. So the next step up is something like this. This is a giant battery in here, and I got this from Costco a long time ago. It still works just fine, and it will also, I can use it as a battery, jumper cables for my car. My car is not working well. It won't start. It'll inflate tires, and it'll also, I know, run my CPAP machine for at least an entire night. I haven't gone any farther with it, but I do know it will do that. So this is quite a battery here, and it also has outlets in front where you can charge multiple phones and do whatever you need to do with this thing.
You also have a tire inflator.
Right, tire inflator, right. So this is an older model. They have newer ones that are lighter, and they use a lithium battery. These are lead acid, I think, in here. The sealed lead acid batteries. And again, once it goes, it's gone. It's going in the trash. But so far, so good. So, and then if that's not enough for you, or if you need something more, then the next device for power is this thing right here, which is this one's 3,000 watts, and it is really just a huge battery. And this one, I know, I tested it, will run. It'll run our refrigerator here for 24 hours, no problem. Just plug it in. It's got an outlet right here, and it'll run our refrigerator, just like if it was plugged into the house. So that's the next thing.
How long will it run the refrigerator? 24 hours?
At least 24 hours, yeah. At least 24 hours.
Yeah. And it's portable.
Yeah.
So it's not like a big generator that you have to have in the garage and run the cords or anything like that.
Right, and the nice thing too is you can just sit on the floor here in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. It's not giving off any fumes. It's not producing any carbon monoxide, nothing like that. Right. The downside to all this stuff is that when these things are finally discharged, they are done, because like to recharge this one here is at least 12 hours. To recharge this one, this big what they call solar generator battery, is from a wall out is almost 2 days to get it back up fully charged. So, like I said, once you've used up the electricity in these things, they just big expensive doorstops.
Right.
So then you say, well, what is it going to take for me to be more self-reliant long term? And there's only just a few things you can do. And like you said before, there's this, which is something. It's an emergency radio, but it also has a battery here and where is it here? Right here. So you can open this up at the end here, and you can put a USB A plug or a micro USB here and run a cord off and charge your phone. And when the battery runs out, because it will run out, you don't have any extras, then it has a crank. So you can crank up you can charge the battery by cranking it. And it also has a small solar panel here, so you can leave it out in the sun and charge it that way.
One of the things where we live here, we have a group called EPIC, Emergency Preparedness in Community. And one of the things that we talk about is having a radio that if there is an emergency, you can actually hear news of what's going on. And so that's important, and I think a lot of people have those cranked ones.
Right, so this is a radio, and it also has a flashlight on the end.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. And then this is a solar panel, and this was recently recommended by Wirecutter, which is a consumer products site on the New York Times. This is the one that they tested and liked the most. And it's just a small solar panel. It has, you put it outside, obviously, and then you have outlets here where you can plug in 3 different phones or your tablet or whatever. And then it takes a while. It only is producing like 3 watts, so it takes a while, but it will recharge your phone and it will recharge your tablet. So these are the only 2 things here. Like I said, these big batteries, when they're done, they're done. Same with all these batteries, they're done. They're just trash. But these 2 devices here, you can actually generate electricity indefinitely with these 2. And of course, if you really need power, you can go with a gas generator.
Right.
And in theory, if you have gas stored with the generator, you can run that indefinitely as well.
Right. Depending on how much,
Right.
And I don't know how many people have a gas generator.
Right. They're expensive.
They're not only are they expensive, but it's also takes up a lot of space.
It does, yeah. And then you know what you do about the gas. I have a gas generator, and I have a pump that was designed to, you put a hose down your fill line for your car, snake it down in there, and turn the pump on, pumps the gasoline out of your car, and into a container that you can then put into your generator. So you can last a long time that way.
Anyway, what we're talking about today is what you might need in case there's an emergency to, quote, light up the situation, or to charge your phone, or for that matter, you could charge your refrigerator for 24 hours, like you said.
Right, a lot of options to start off with. Just like you said, make sure you have batteries, have them organized.
Yeah.
Try to get rechargeable flashlights when you can, because that will save you a lot of grief. And that'll keep you at least set so you can see where you're going at night, and you can keep your phone charged if you need to.
Thank you for listening.
All right.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.